In my last tutorial, I talked about the basics of jQuery. I used this page as an example. There's a link at the top of the page, and when you click on it, a hidden paragraph slides down, and when you click back on it, that same hidden paragraph slides back up. And this was achieved using a slide toggle effect, which you can see here in the script. This script is basically saying when the document is ready, there's a function that says that when the link is clicked, there's a function that says that this paragraph, which is inside a test div, has to slide toggle in a slow motion. So that's basically what I showed you in my first tutorial. That was very basic. Today I'm going to talk about the load jQuery effect, which enables you to load some external content into a page. It's very basic, very simple, very easy to do. In order to do that, we are going to use another HTML page. We're going to use this one, which is called content.html, and which is in the same folder as my jQuery demo page. It's a very simple page. It's just for the demo, so there's a title here that says the content I want to load, and here there's an image. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to load that page into this page, and I'm going to load it right here instead of this text. So I'm going back to the code of the page, and here where I have my slide toggle effect, I'm just going to add another line of code. Very similar to the first one. It goes that the paragraph inside the test div, it has to load. So I just write load, and it will load a page called content.html. So that's it, very simple. We have a slide toggle effect here and a load effect here. Very simple. I save the page and I refresh it. Let's click on the link again. So here, instead of my text, I have the content of this page loaded. Very simple. But I just would like you to notice one thing. I will refresh the page. If you look carefully at the sliding down effect, I don't know if you noticed, but when the content slides down, it doesn't slide down in a very smooth way. If you look at it, I click on info, it slows down, and bam! It goes first slow, I will refresh again, it goes first slow, and then bam, fast. The reason why it's doing that is that the page is trying to call two effects at the same time, which are the slide toggle effect and the load effect, because it's basically trying to do the two things at once. It would go smoother if it was calling one effect after the other, which means it would go smoother if it was calling first the load effect and then the slide down effect. So in order to do that, I'm going to use what we call a callback. A callback function, it's basically a function that is executed after the effect has been completed. So in that case, my effect would be the content loading and my callback would be the slide toggle function. I will just show you how you can do it. So here, I'm going to take the load effect, cut, and then paste. It's going to be my first effect. So here I'm going to add the callback function. I'm going to put a comma. No, sorry. I'm going to put a comma. And here is a new function, which is a callback function. So same as any other function, you put first two brackets and then you open a brace. And make sure the function is closed properly with a brace and a bracket and a semicolon. And here my callback function is that function, which is the slide toggle effect. So I'm just going to cut and paste it. So basically what my code is saying now is that when the document is ready, there's a function which is that when the link is clicked, there's another function, which is that my paragraph inside my test div has to load external content, which is a page called content.html, and that there's a callback function which will be executed after the content.html page is loaded, and that callback function is that the same paragraph inside my test div has to slide toggle in a slow motion. So I'm just going to save the page, and then I'm going to refresh it to see what it looks like. I click on info. And here, I don't know if you noticed the difference, but I do notice the difference. If you use the callback function, which makes sure that one effect is called after the other, you can see that the content slides down more smoothly than if the two effects are called at the same time. Another last change I want to make to the code is that here, this is actually useless to put div hashtag test p again. It's better to remove this and just to put this instead. This meaning that we're talking about the element we're applying an effect to. Okay, I will save and refresh the page, and you can see it's basically the same effect. It's just a better semantic. It's just better semantic. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and that you find it interesting. There is still a lot to know about jQuery, but I highly recommend it in any case because, as you can see, it's very easy to use and you can do some very cool stuff. Thank you for watching.